Calaroga Shark Media.
From Washington, D.C., home of the June 6th riots, this is Ballot, the podcast that dares to find the humor in the ever-changing landscape of American politics.
Today, we've got quite the lineup for you. First up, we'll explore President Biden's latest gaffe at a star-studded fundraiser, where he managed to confuse the January 6th Capitol riots with the D-Day invasion. I guess when you're the president, you're allowed to rewrite history. We'll also take a look at Biden's new helicopter routine, which has him surrounded by a posse of aides like a pack of Secret Service-trained wolves. Apparently, shuffling solo across the South Lawn was highlighting his age a little too much. So sit back, relax, and get ready for a wild ride through the wonderful world of Washington. I'll start with Joe Biden today, so when I pile on Trump next week, you won't get mad at me. At a glitzy fundraiser, hosted by none other than Hollywood royalty Michael Douglas and Catherine Zeta-Jones, our commander-in-chief managed to mix up the date of one of the darkest days in American history. That's right. While trying to take a jab at his rival, former President Trump, Biden accidentally referred to the January 6th Capitol riots as the dark days of June 6th. Now, I know what you're thinking. June 6th? Isn't that D-Day? Yes, it is. But hey, who hasn't confused a World War II invasion with an attempted insurrection at the Capitol? You know, I can't help but wonder what other historical events Biden might confuse in the future. Will he start referring to the moon landing as the Great Space Race of 1492? Or maybe he'll give a speech about the time Abraham Lincoln defeated the aliens at Gettysburg. But let's not focus too much on the gaffe. After all, the real story here is that Biden was rubbing elbows with the likes of Michael Douglas at a swanky fundraiser in Westchester. I mean, who needs accurate historical dates when you've got Gordon Gekko himself introducing you as an extraordinary seasoned veteran? Another day, another Biden gaffe. But hey, at least this one happened in the company of Hollywood elite. I guess when you're the president, you've got to take your blunders in stride and keep on schmoozing. After all, as Michael Douglas said, number 46 must become number 47, even if he sometimes forgets what number comes after 45. Meanwhile, it seems like there's been a bit of a shakeup in President Biden's White House departure and return routine. Instead of strutting his stuff solo across the South Lawn to and from Marine One, he's now got a posse of aides surrounding him like a presidential entourage. Now you might be thinking, what's the big deal? Maybe Biden just wants some company on his walks. But according to some of his advisors, there's a bit more to it than that. They're worried that videos of the 81-year-old president shuffling alone across the grass have been highlighting his age a little too much for comfort. In fact, Biden himself reportedly told aides that he'd prefer a less formal approach and suggested that they walk with him. And lo and behold, starting in mid-April, we've seen a sudden change in his walk routine. Instead of going solo, he's now got senior aides like Bruce Reed, Annie Tomasini, and Mike Donnellan joining him on his helicopter jaunts. And if you look at the numbers, it's clear that this is a calculated move. In March, Biden walked to and from Marine One by himself or with family members every single time. But starting April 16th, he had staff or lawmakers join him 9 out of 10 times. Coincidence? I think not. The criminal trial of Donald Trump is in full swing, and let me tell you, it's a wild ride. We've got vivid testimony about hush money payoffs, catch and kill schemes, and a former president who just can't seem to keep his name out of the tabloids. At the center of it all is David Pecker, the former publisher of the National Enquirer. Pecker has been spilling the beans about his involvement in suppressing the stories of 2 women who claim to have had sex with Trump, Karen McDougal and Stormy Daniels. And boy, does he have some juicy details to share. According to Pecker, his company paid McDougal $150,000 to buy her story, with no intention of ever publishing it. But here's the kicker. Pecker expected to be reimbursed by Trump. When he had trouble getting the money, he basically told Trump's lawyer Michael Cohen, "I am not a bank." Classic Pecker, always looking out for himself. But it's not just about the money. The prosecution is trying to paint a picture of election interference, suggesting that these hush money deals were part of a scheme to influence the 2016 election. Pecker even admitted that McDougal's payment was disguised as a contract for services to avoid violating campaign finance laws. And apparently, Trump was so worried about McDougal that he kept asking Pecker about her, even after he was elected. At one point, he referred to her as "our girl" in a meeting with FBI Director James Comey and others. Talk about awkward. But perhaps the most surprising revelation? Pecker considered Trump his mentor and still considers him a friend, despite all the drama. I guess when you're in the business of burying scandals, loyalty runs deep. Or maybe it's just Stockholm Syndrome. That's it for today. Remember, whether you're mixing up historical dates or trying to navigate a grassy field, there's always room for a little laughter in politics. Portions of this program may have been created with the help of AI. But hey, would an AI tell you the Capitol riots happened in June? Join us next time for more hilarious headlines and punchy political commentary. Until then, keep your calendars close and your aides closer.